Welcome back to Proxy, everybody, and today we're going to be talking about some new leaks that I just discovered for the Eldari. Some new data sheets were leaked, and also we're going to get some brand new data sheets for our army for support weapons and the Wraith Knight. So what we've all been asking for, right guys? Separate profiles for separate weapons. We are getting that confirmed on support weapons and Wraith Knights, of course, which is awesome. So let's go ahead and dive right into the leaks, dive right into the good stuff, and I will give you my honest analysis on the leaks. And I'll tell you guys how good everything is, which is, it's still looking good. We're still rolling, man. It's really cool. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so this is a little bit blurry, but this is Asurmen. And as we can see here by the picture, he did lose his 3+ invulnerable save, but he gained a bunch of good stuff. So first of all, first change is his Bloody Twins are now better. 6 attacks, hit on 2+, strength 5 versus strength 4, AP -1, and damage 2 base. That is better than it previously was. His melee weapon is exactly the same, but of course he had a great melee weapon anyway. Now his special rules are actually what make him super strong. Tactical acumen gives him a move, shoot, move ability of 6 inches with his unit. So Eldari still have move, shoot, move, guys. You just have to buy a character for it, and Asurmen is awesome with it. Dire Avengers, which is funny because I just recently bought some cheap Dire Avengers on eBay because, they are older models. People are trying to get rid of them to get all the new Aspect Warriors. Dire Avengers are looking like maybe the best Aspect Warrior in the entire codex. And I'm not even kidding with that. With the Asurmen, I think they do get to that level. So not only do you get to move, shoot, move 6 inches, but the Hand of Azurian ability is a once per game mini feat that Asurmen can pull off that gives him anti-infantry 3+, devastating wounds on top of that, and damage 3 on his shooting profile. That is insane considering that they have, of course, strength 5 on his profile now, and not only can he deal with infantry very easily, but he can also hit and punch up a little bit as well. Now, something you might notice, though, about Asurmen, and I think Dire Avengers are probably going to lose this ability too, but there's no lethal hits. So I don't think Dire Avengers are going to get lethal hits based on their weapons. You're probably going to have to use the stratagem to give them lethal hits. However, I think they will probably buff the Avenger Shuriken Catapult in another way. Probably give it maybe strength 5, or probably not another AP, but definitely probably give it more strength. I would think that they would give it something, but we'll see. And that's going to be awesome regardless, right? Asurmen is looking like a beast, and he is going to be an absolute monster on the battlefield because of it. So really excited for Asurmen, guys. Looking like he is best boy right now. Now, the next data sheet is Eldrad Ulthran. He wasn't that good in the index. At least I didn't think he was super great. I thought he was okay at best. But let's take a look at Eldrad now. So Eldrad, his stat line looks exactly the same as it was. He does, however, have a little something for you. And that is, he's now a CP generator. He now generates command points, guys. He is everybody's Marneus Calgar. He is going to be probably an auto-include because of this. So you gain 1 CP per round, and he also still has Doom. Now, Doom is actually better. Doom is the same as before, except you don't have to roll anymore. So you don't have to roll that 2 up. It just automatically happens. Other than that, Eldrad is unchanged. Now, here's the thing about Eldrad, though. With the new battle focus abilities, Eldrad is much better than he was before, especially with Guardian Defenders. You can put him in a unit of Guardian Defenders. You can move on out. You can Mind War something downfield. Then, of course, you can just scoot right back with the battle focus move Fade Out, right? Or Fade Back, which will allow you to move back as if it's a move, shoot, move ability. So, really cool. I think Eldrad is going to be a great model, and obviously probably an auto-include for most competitive builds, just because he does have that CP generation for you, which is really strong. Okay, enough about Eldrad. Let's go ahead and move on to Baharroth. Now, Baharroth, it's a little hard to read, but I'll go ahead and read it to you. His ranged weapons do have lethal hits, and his melee weapon has sustained hits 1. He has pretty basic profile, exactly the same as it was last edition. It's strength 6, AP -1, damage 2 for his ranged weapon, and for his melee weapon, it's strength 5, AP -2, damage 2. Nothing is different there. Now, what he does get, though, is Cloud Strider. So basically, he does get to Skyleap with his unit, which is the ability to, at the end of your opponent's turn, move him and his unit back into reserve. And then Baharroth gets a special ability. When he uses this, he can actually deep strike 3 inches. Now, it says 3 inches on the datasheet, but this is going to be obviously changed because of the rules for Pry Nexus guys. It's going to be a 6-inch deep strike. So he can deep strike anywhere outside of 6 inches with this ability and his unit. His Cry of the Wind ability gives him crits on 5s when he uses Cloud Strider as well. So he's getting a little bit more damage when he uses that Cloud Strider ability. Now, he can't charge, though, when he comes out of Deep Strike. So, unfortunately, it's just going to be for his ranged weapon. Now, truthfully, I think that's okay. I don't think that's overall great. You know, obviously, I think he's probably going to be on the cheaper end of Phoenix Lords, hopefully, with this setup. But I can see, you know, Baharroth and a squad of 5 Hawks being a good utility unit with 6-inch Deep Strike. They can definitely screen fairly effectively. So I definitely see this unit as something that can be disruptive, something that can score objectives easily, and something that can, you know, be reasonably tough to enemy fire and stuff like that. So if it is a good price and it's not super overcosted, I can see Baharroth and 5 Hawks being really good. Now, also keep in mind, Baharroth and 5 Hawks get to use their grenade packs. They do have the grenade keyword, or at least I know that the, you know, Swooping Hawks have it. So they're going to be able to probably throw grenades as well, and that's going to be able to deal a lot of mortal wounds. So these guys can actually do some pretty decent damage, honestly. I just think that it's probably going to be a cheaper Phoenix Lord because what he does is definitely not as powerful as what we've seen from Lycus and Asurmen and, of course, Fuegan. Now, there is something else I want to show you guys. Now, this is the, you know, kind of index or codex. Well, what do they call this? An introduction, right? So this is the, you know, basically page numbers of all the data sheets. And there's something special in this, guys. There's something very special. If you go down to the middle of the page, right at the center column, you will see 3 data sheets: D-Cannon platform, Shadow Weaver platform, and Vibro Cannon platform. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they have become 3 separate data sheets just like we wanted. I hope you guys didn't magnetize, or I hope you guys didn't glue your D-Cannons. I hope you guys, you know, allowed for the different weapon options to slot in, because these are going to be 3 separate data sheets now, which is going to be really interesting. I'm really excited to see what they've done with the different data sheets. Really excited there. You know, excited to see the Vibrator Cannon maybe actually be kind of good, which would be a shock, but it would be also pretty funny because that thing is a meme. So that's really awesome. Now, I think what's cooler is that Wraith Knights now have 2 different data sheets. You have the Wraith Knight, which is probably going to be armed with the ranged weapons, and the Wraith Knight with Ghostglaive. So you have the melee option and you have the ranged option, which are going to be 2 separate data sheets. This is awesome. Everybody's been wanting to play around with the Ghostglaive. Now we have an excuse to do it. Also, what I think is going to happen here is the Wraith Knight is going to be armed with 2 ranged weapons, either a Sun Cannon or a Heavy Wraith Cannon, and maybe a shield. Maybe you can take the shield, maybe you can't on the regular Wraith Knight. And the Wraith Knight with the Ghostglaive is either going to be able to take a shield and a sword, or, of course, a Heavy Wraith Cannon and a sword. It's going to get those 2 options, which is really good. We'll have to see the specifics of it, but I'm really excited about that. That makes a lot of sense. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Now, something else you will recognize is they do have the Ynnari units on here. And the Ynnari units that are not included are unfortunate. So we're not going to be able to get Scourges. There are no Ynnari Scourges. So unfortunately, for all you Ynnari players that have a bunch of Scourges, I'm so sorry. GW has taken your balls and firmly gripped them and squished them so that, you're basically howling in pain because your, 15 scourges are not going to be able to be used in Ynnari anymore. That is a shame. I recently fell victim to this as well. I bought the Blood of the Phoenix set. That comes with some scourges in it. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to use those, and I'm not going to be able to use Drazar either. So I got shafted as well. Now, the other thing is, unfortunately, is I'm also not going to be able to use the Hellions. Hellions are not in here either. So there are several units, unfortunately, that have just been left out of the Ynnari. So kind of sucks. I guess you can call that an Oreo. It's not great. It's different, but it's not great. So unfortunately, going to have to probably sell those units or possibly just start a Dark Eldar army or something like that. I don't know, but it's really unfortunate. So that is a bummer. But we do get access to the Archon and the Succubus, which will have different, rules and stuff like that. Kabbalites, Witches, Incubi, Reavers, Raiders, and Venoms. So no Ravagers either, guys. There's not a lot of units that we're able to unfortunately take with the Ynnari. But honestly, to be honest with you guys, even though it kind of sucks that I have some of those models, I'm kind of okay with it because of balance purposes. I think the Dark Eldar should have access to unique units. I think there should be a reason for people to play Dark Eldar and not just play Dark Eldar units in an Eldar army. So I do think that in general, that's going to be fine. Okay, so what are my final thoughts on these leaks? So Eldrad, obviously going to be an auto-include. His CP generation will probably nudge Autarchs out the window. Autarchs may not be able to generate CP anymore, and as such, their demand is going to go down. So I think they're going to be good in the aspect host detachment, but I don't think they're going to be an auto-include in every detachment like before. Asurmen and Dire Avengers are looking absolutely amazing with a move, shoot, move ability, and of course a once per game damage buff for Asurmen. We haven't even seen Dire Avengers what they can do yet, but it's probably going to be pretty good. I'm thinking their data sheet is going to be pretty tops. We're going to have to see what they actually do when we get the codex or when we get another leak. So if you guys out there are leaking, send the leaks to me. I'll do a review. Baharroth, by comparison to Asurmen and all the other Phoenix Lords, does look a little bit underwhelming, but he probably won't be as expensive, and he likely won't be in as many lists. He's just not going to be an auto-include, but that doesn't mean he's not good. I think if he's at a good cost, reasonable cost, he'll be okay. He'll be trouble for people. So I do think Baharroth is fine. It's just that, obviously when you have all these flashy special rules that the other ones get, and this guy doesn't really have any flashy special rules, that's going to be a little bit of an issue. Now, I think he is paying a premium for 3-inch Deep Strike, and I think his cost will be changed to reflect the nerf to 3-inch Deep Strike. So if we do get a cost with the Codex, it's probably going to be much different than we would have seen normally. So they'll probably decrease his points cost. I can see Asurmen and Lycus and Fuegan being, 130, 140, 150 points because they are that good, guys, and because they're going to be part of a lot of different combinations. And I think they're going to form a real big core to any Eldar army that is going to be playing in or with the new Codex. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited to try out the army and see what it has this, for us. I think there's a lot of powerful combinations coming out of this. The data sheets are good. The detachments are good, guys. The Codex rule itself, the battle focus is good. Everything is good. I haven't seen, with the exception of the Incarn and the Night Spinner, which, come on, guys, we knew those were going to suck. GW hates those models for some reason. We knew that, those were going to suck anyway, but with the exception of those, everything has looked great. Even Yvraine, I thought about it a little more. I think she's really good with Incubi. I think she can be pretty good with Incubi, honestly. Rerolling Wounds is really good. It's really powerful. Is she going to be meta-defining? Is she going to be in every list? No, probably not. but she's definitely good. And I can definitely see Ynnari working depending on what they show us tomorrow for the, reveal of the Ynnari and the Quinn detachment. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Once again, I've been throwing out these videos like crazy just because, we've been getting so many leaks, and I just have to talk to you guys about it right off the bat. I'm super excited to see what the Codex has in store for us and what tomorrow's detachments will look like. And I'll be back with another video tomorrow. All right, guys, once again, if you are a Patreon, thank you so much for supporting the channel. You're awesome. You've really helped the channel grow and succeed. Hopefully, again, earlier, the mic quality was probably a little bit, kind of not as good, even though I do still have I just got a new microphone. It's just that I had a lot of background noise and it did pick up some of that. So I now have it in a box filled with foam. So my voice is probably better now. Hopefully, let me know about it. I will also kind of review the video before and try to edit out certain noises if I do notice stuff. But let me know about that in the comments, how it is, because I really want to get this down pat so we can have good quality videos in the future. Especially when we do the Codex review, that's going to be very important. And, if you want to support the channel by, buying some Eldar inspired apparel on the channel store page or looking at the Amazon affiliate link, I would really appreciate it. And of course, if you do join the Patreon with a free trial, or, you support the channel a little bit monetarily on Patreon, you will get free access to our Discord community, which is an awesome community, which is throwing up all these leaks. We have cool conversations in the Discord and stuff like that about Eldar strategies and tactics and hobbying and all that. So if you are a new Eldar player, consider joining us. We'd love to have you, and we'd love to teach you a couple things and, just have a grand old time. All right, everybody, that's going to be it for today's video. Once again, I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Have a good one. And may Isha bless you.